I'ma reach out, I don't ever see cloud. Young nigga from the cut, I'ma twist that blunt, that the shit get bugging. They wanna act tough, but I just want peace in the flow like crease. Bitch, I'm riding no grease, I'll be popping on the scene. I don't want no green, just some love that I see. Come on, bitch, riding with me in the back of the Jeep. Let me levitate, nigga, I'm a renegade, bitch. I'ma keep my cool, I ain't been afraid, bitch. All these stars in my ceiling, I'll be serenade, bitch. What you looking at when you staring at the kid? Wanna fix your life, I'm the young starter kid. On a brand new tip, new king, how I kick. Flow so wet, goddamn it, slick. But once you wanna die, just throw me off a bridge. Damn, way too deadly, got the south like Nelly. I don't got no friends, cause I might turn Nelly. All these niggas turn jelly, cause I'm way too cold like the Phrygian telly. Just respect me, kicking shit like Messi, wrist cut so messy. Got a damn bitch with me, killing shit that I'm jetting. Bitch, you got peace, you ain't gotta come bless me, and I know who I am. You ain't gotta correct me, let's say, boy, I've been killing shit for some days, and I smoke so much you can see through the haze. Bitch, I got new plays, and I'm trying to go make while you sitting on the couch staring down to the maze. Bitch, it's wet still wave, I don't stress about things. I release my pain and repeat my sayings. I'ma clean my water so my shit gets drained, and a nigga fuck around, we gon' pull up with exchange. I like that one part, especially on that fucking song when the beat dropped. Damn. Let's hit it with the damn. But anyways, welcome back to the communication station, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Schwetzel in this bitch. We gonna get started right away today. Obviously fucking this live stream's been up for like the past 12 hours or so. Oh shit, I tried to share. Let me fucking tap in to see what the goddamn title I put on this bitch. Okay, so yeah, we just gonna get straight into this shit. The title for today is Lack of Experimentalism is Detriment. Now, this might not apply to everybody, but in my case, that is one of the things that stifle the most. Now, with this, there's a few key points to take into consideration. We're gonna get straight into this shit. Now, I've told you guys before, everything is temporary. The only constant in life is change. So with that being said, everything is temporary. Now, we can get into certain debates and arguments such as, oh, you might have particular people in your life that's meant to stick around for long periods of time, and maybe even in certain scenarios, in certain cases, a person could be with a certain person for, you know, from the time they high school sweethearts, or they could have been together since 6th, 7th grade or something like that, and they stay together, they get married, have a family, and they stay together for the remainder of their life. You know what I'm saying? That can be a case. That can be a very true scenario. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, still yet everything is temporary. If you want to even be able to maintain having a person around you for a long period of time, it's certain things that's going to have to shift and change for you to even be able to keep people around you who are meant to quote unquote be in your life forever, or some type of concept like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes into things that are not family and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you just with a romantic partner or some shit like that. A lot of people are more willing to walk away from romantic partners, especially if they aren't growing, aren't changing, aren't developing better characteristics and traits, and just essentially becoming a better human over time. You know what I'm saying? Now, in certain cases with certain families, even then, if you still being a shitty person and you're not changing and growing, even your family will disconnect from you and not want to fuck with you no more. You know what I'm saying? In certain family dynamics, there's some family dynamics where it's like, you know, I don't give a fuck how shitty you are. I don't give a fuck if you on drugs, a hoe, what, a prostitute, whatever it may be. You still family. We still gonna take care of you. We still gonna, you know, you still gonna be invited to the cookout and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But still yet everything is temporary. One of you, especially when, if we're speaking in the aspect of romantic relationships, like you with your high school sweetheart, or a girl you've been with since middle school, or a boy you've been with since middle school, or some shit like that. One of y'all is going to die first. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily that y'all both just going to happen to die at the exact same time. Like, yeah, that do happen in certain scenarios, but like I said, for you to even be able to maintain that as a female, for you to for a guy to want to stick with you for that long, or as a male for a female to want to stick with you for that long, you still gonna have to shift to be able to maintain that. You're still gonna have to develop as a human being. You still going, you know what I'm saying? And this might not play out in big ways, as far as like, oh, you're the female that you're with might not be so concerned with money or career matters or shit like that. So you don't really necessarily have to always be searching for the next best job, and always searching for the next bag and the next way that you can upgrade the amount of money that you bring in, or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? It might not always play out in big ways like that, you know what I'm saying, but smaller ways. You might have to shift up on some belief systems. You might have to shift up on certain characteristics and traits, and just your character in general might have to change a little bit, you know what I'm saying, for you to be able to maintain something for a long period of time. So change is the only constant in life. Let's keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Everything is temporary. I've told you guys before that that characteristics and traits should be temporary. Your own character should be temporary. What the character that you choose to gravitate and utilize need to change over time as well in certain scenarios. Not every piece of your character is meant to be taken from who you are now into future means. You know what I'm saying? But there's also another aspect to this: belief systems as well. Belief systems, I believe, should be temporary as well. The more that you grow, and this is a thing too. Shout out to Mooney Mercury, baby, because he liked to use this term that I kind of fuck with. He used this term called infinite growth. You know what I'm saying? Which is really what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? So in the aspect of infinite growth, over time, even your belief systems are going to have to shift and change up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? As you grow and develop as a person, your way of seeing the world, your perspective, and your belief system will even have to shift and change up a little bit for you to necessarily become the person that you need to be to get wherever you're trying to go. You get what I'm saying? But anyways, this is the next point. Belief systems have to shift. And now we're just segueing off of the belief systems aspect of it. Belief systems, most importantly, have to shift in order to open up space for growth. You get what I'm saying? Um, so like I've told you guys before, a lot of the things that society and the shadow government and the systems that they utilize, especially religion, the things that they play on, and also other certain concepts that like therapists and psychologists like to use terms and definitions, as far as mental illness and making you believe that you are a certain way and you're stuck a certain way unless you go and take this medicine, or unless you go and go through this program, or go through this community, or you addicted to alcohol or drugs. You have to go through this 12-step program, otherwise there's nothing else that could really help you. You know what I'm saying? If we just take notice, if we take note of this shit, we'll notice that majority of the things that we experience in life, as far as a program or an indoctrination, is built upon your belief systems. You get what I'm saying? That's what they like to play on, because the more that they can play on your belief system and make you believe things in a certain aspect, that's how your reality is directly reflected. You get what I'm saying? The harder that you believe in something, the more apparent that it becomes. You get what I'm saying? So that's why belief systems have to be shifted over time to open up space for growth. You get what I'm saying? That's the problem with it too. You know what I'm saying? The things that play on our belief systems in life, there's not really a lot of space for infinite growth through these things. You get what I'm saying? A lot of times these things have a cap or a ceiling on them. You get what I'm saying? It's not necessarily a stage or a space for infinite growth. It puts you in an aspect where you can grow to just maintain it. You get what I'm saying? That's how a lot of this shit be playing out. It puts you in a space and an aspect of growing till you get to this cap or this ceiling, and the cap and the ceiling is just for you to be able to maintain and sustain yourself through life and experiences. You get what I'm saying? Which not necessarily a bad thing, but the way that they want a lot of these things to play out is not through like a dream or a goal or a passion or a creative gift and talent. A lot of the time it be through going and doing these things at a church house, or going and working for one of their corporations, or going and learning these things so that you can then go and get your doctorate from college and shit like that, and then you can be a therapist or some shit like that. Which, like I said, these aren't necessarily bad things, and there is certain scenarios and there is certain cases where people grow infinitely through these things. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what it's set up for the most part. You get what I'm saying? And the people who go through these programs, you know what I'm saying? Majority of people get stuck there, but there is the chosen few who choose themselves and allow themselves to grow and develop through these things, and are more open-minded to shift their belief systems a little bit more as they get in that space and they start moving through it. You get what I'm saying? So it puts them in an aspect where they can lap people, essentially. You get what I'm saying? And there can be 100,000 other people who are doing the same thing, going through the exact same program, but they never received the same benefit that this person get from it. You get what I'm saying? Because they're more open to growth, and they're not really going to just stagnate themselves by being locked in a certain perspective or a certain belief system. Now, this is the next point. Upholding and maintaining things that are past their expiration date devalues you and leaves you stagnant. You get what I'm saying? Now, this is especially when we're dealing with characteristics and traits, and we're dealing with character, and we're dealing with belief systems. You get what I'm saying? The more that you uphold these things once they're past their expiration date, and I get it. Sometimes it's tricky to know, like, what exactly do I need to adjust here? Sometimes you have to go through a little bit of experience for you to be able to shine the light on that, or have someone around you who will help shine the light on that for you to realize, like, okay, my way of viewing this, or my belief system in this certain area, or the way that I'm conducting myself in this certain area is actually what is blocking me at the moment, and I kind of need to let go of this shit. It's kind of old and outdated. It doesn't really help me anymore. It doesn't benefit me anymore. At one point it was, but now it's something that is actually harming me rather than helping me anymore. It's something that is holding me back now, because I've grown to an aspect to where essentially I've outgrown that shit. I've outgrown that characteristic, that character, that trait, that belief system. It's of no use to me anymore. So I need to cast it aside and develop either something else that can fulfill that space, or just leave it empty until you go through a certain experience that help you come to a new conclusion that can fulfill that space, so you're not like at a void aspect or nothingness type of aspect, which I like the nothingness. You know what I'm saying? I like the void. So, you know, that's just, I guess, up to individual interpretation on that one. But it devalues you and leaves you stagnant. Most of the time, the way this plays out is just leaving you stagnant for the most part. You know what I'm saying? It devalues you whenever you're dealing with situations where you stepping into that belief system, or that character, or that characteristic and trait, or that behavioral characteristic and that routine and pattern that essentially makes you a lesser version of what you are now. You get what I'm saying? You, like I said, you've already outgrown it. You've already outgrown it to a certain degree. So the more that you're going back and interacting with that same stuff, those same characteristics, traits, behavioral patterns, belief systems, the more you interact with them, it's like taking steps backwards. You get what I'm saying? You're putting yourself, it's like trying to fit yourself into a box that you no longer fit into. You get what I'm saying? So that's where it kind of devalues you. And that could just be my perspective, you know what I'm saying? But from my perspective, that's how this shit play out. You know what I'm saying? If I'm sitting here operating on a bunch of shit that I've already outgrown, I'm already too big for that box, I'm already too big for that container, me going down there is just essentially downplaying my value and putting me back in a lesser than type of category, is how it seemed from my perspective. You get what I'm saying? Now, Yeah, we talked about that already. Next point. If you have dreams and goals in mind, outdated systems make you be a version of yourself that keeps you out of access to what you're going for. You get what I'm saying? Now, the main point that I wanted to add on to this is the fact that you can have the frequency and vibration completely correct. You know what I'm saying? You can be conducting yourself correctly on a thought and feeling aspect. You get what I'm saying? You could be in the right space internally. But the problem is when you interact with the environment. You get what I'm saying? You have to correlate yourself correctly, and you have to move correctly in the 3D as well. It's not like we've talked about this a lot. It is about the internal game. This life is very much about the internal game. It's a mental game, it's an emotional game. You get what I'm saying? But if you have all of that shit attuned correctly, but you're still moving reckless and you're moving illogically, and not everything is about logic. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we just need to move off of purely the enjoyment or the passion of things. You get what I'm saying? But still, a lot of times we be having emotional responses that make us move reckless and make us do things that just hurt our own self at the end of the day, and stop our growth and put us in situations that we don't necessarily need to be going through or be in at all, period, just for the simple fact of we're not moving correctly in the 3D. You get what I'm saying? So you can have your internal energies all correct. You can have everything meshed together perfectly. You can have everything aligned within yourself perfectly. But you're still like being just unkind to people, being rude to people for necessarily no reason. There's a lot of ways how this would play out. I'm not going to sit here and name all of them, but you know what I'm saying? That's the main problem with it. And that's where a lot of people be missing on the quote unquote shadow work and accountability aspect of it. You get what I'm saying? You can be the most positive person in your own mind. You could be the most positive person in your own emotions. You could be the most happy, uplifted person in your own mind and in your own emotions and in your own imagination. But you're not being happy to other people. You're not being kind to other people. The way that you're moving is still keeping you out of access of what you're going for, aka. And especially when we're talking about belief systems harp on this one most importantly. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? When you're attacking a dream and a goal, and you're still operating on those old and outdated systems that aren't necessarily working for you anymore, aka when we get into your character, what people can see from your character, your characteristics and traits, your actions. You get what I'm saying? You, like I've told y'all before, you can have the most beautiful intentions in mind, but the moment that your actions don't align with your intentions, there's a discord there. There's a disconnect there. This is gonna inhibit, wait, what's the word I'm looking for? This is going to be detriment to your, not only your relationships and your connection with people, but this can be a detriment to your dreams and goals as well, because of the simple fact that you're operating on an old and outdated system. You're being a lesser version of yourself at the moment, and who you need to be to get where you're going is not who you're being right now. You get what I'm saying? You're not showing the characteristics and traits that you need to show. You're not showing the character that you need to show. You're not believing and standing on your belief systems as a person outwardly. You get what I'm saying? Like, you would probably shrink how you believe about things just to fit in with the environment and shit like that. That's not who you necessarily need to be to get where you're going as an individual. You get what I'm saying? That belief system and you shrinking it just to fit in with the environment and shit like that is one of the reasons why you still is trying to do shit, but it seemed like you can't do it for some reason. You get what I'm saying? Now, this is the thing about it. How you become the person who you need to be is taking note of these things. The more that you move differently in the 3D, in the third dimension, in reality, this helps with your growth, and this places you in an aspect where anything is possible, because now you can actually be the person who you need to be to get where the fuck you trying to go at the end of the day. You get what I'm saying? So you can't no longer be placed in an aspect where you don't get what you deserve. You get what I'm saying? Because you deserve it now, because you're being who you need to be to get to that point. You get what I'm saying? Now, all of these things are going to come with time, experience, and practice. Now, this is the thing about it. Your time and experience will show you, but there's also another aspect to it. Other people can help you out with these things as well. You get what I'm saying? So don't completely disregard when somebody is giving you criticism. You get what I'm saying? And this is not to say take into consideration every piece of criticism that you get, because there do be a lot of situations where people will just harp on you and criticize things when that's just truly your essence and your nature as an individual. You know what I'm saying? And people will sit here and act offended or act like you being mean and evil or some type of way when you just trying to hold a person accountable and make them aware, like, yeah, your shit stink too. You know what I'm saying? So other people can help us with these things. Other people can point out things that we might need to shift and adjust a little bit, but take into consideration, not everybody who criticizes you or holds you accountable or is quote unquote just being real with you is really trying to help you. You get what I'm saying? That might be something to deflect off of them. You get what I'm saying? And take the blame and accountability off of them, or make you feel bad for them making you feel bad or some type of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's essentially all I have for you guys. We can learn these things from other individuals, but in my opinion, the thing that helps the most is just peeping game from the situations themselves. Like in my case, in a lot of cases for me, what's been more important has been the situation itself and not so much what a person has told me. You get what I'm saying? I learn more from the situation itself rather than what a person is actually in my ear saying to me at the moment. Because a lot of the time that should just be lies, and that's what I've noticed. A person just be lying a lot of the time, and they'll point out some shit about you, and that's really what they be doing, or you know what I'm saying, or just some other weird shit like that. But just take these things into consideration, but take them all with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? Every time a person's in your ear is not necessarily the best thing for you. You know what I'm saying? But y'all will figure it out. Time and experience, time and experience. But anyways, that's all I have for y'all tonight. I just had to come and do this quick breakdown real quick. Y'all take it easy. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.